The iPhone notch has been a controversial design element since its introduction on the iPhone X in 2017. Some people love it, while others hate it. But why does Apple seem to be so determined to this design feature? So curious to know more? Keep watching till the end. Hello everyone, welcome to Product Review Hub. In this video, we'll be exploring the reason why has Apple refused to remove the notch design from their iPhones. What is the iPhone notch? The iPhone notch is a small cutout at the top of the screen that houses the front-facing camera and other sensors. It is typically located at the top of the display and is used to provide more space for the display. The notch is also used to house the earpiece speaker and the true depth camera system, which is used for Face ID authentication. The iPhone notch is made up of two parts, the top bar and the bottom bar. The top bar houses the front-facing camera and other sensors, while the bottom bar contains the earpiece speaker and the true depth camera system. The notch is designed to be hidden, providing a quiet but effective way to house the vital components of the iPhone. The history of the iPhone notch. The iPhone notch was first introduced with the release of the iPhone X in 2017. It was the first Apple device to feature the notch design and was met with a lot of criticism from Apple fans. However, Apple continued to use the notch design in subsequent devices, such as the iPhone XS, XS Max, and XR. Apple then went on to introduce the notchless design with the release of the iPhone 11 in 2019, but it reverted to the notch design with the release of the iPhone 14 in 2022. The notch has been criticized over the years, with many people pointing out its lack of aesthetic appeal. Despite this, Apple has remained committed to the notch design, which has led many people to wonder why it has been so unwavering in its commitment to the notch. Reasons behind why Apple doesn't remove their notch? There are several reasons why Apple has remained committed to the notch design. Firstly, the notch provides a way for Apple to house the vital components of the iPhone, such as the front-facing camera and other sensors, without taking up too much space on the display. As the display continues to get larger and the bezels continue to shrink, the notch becomes a necessary design element to provide the necessary space for the components. The second reason is that the notch provides a way for Apple to differentiate its devices from other manufacturers. While other manufacturers have adopted the notch design, Apple's notch is still the most recognizable and iconic in the market. This helps to set Apple's devices apart from the competition and allows them to stand out in a crowded market. Finally, the notch is a design element that Apple can easily tweak and customize. The company can easily adjust the size and shape of the notch to suit its design needs. This makes it easy for Apple to make changes to the notch without having to redesign the entire device. The pros and cons of iPhone notches. The iPhone notch has its pros and cons. On the one hand, the notch provides a way for Apple to house the vital components of the iPhone without taking up too much space on the display. This allows Apple to make use of the entire display area, which makes for a better user experience. On the other hand, the notch can be seen as a distraction and can detract from the aesthetics of the device. The pros and cons of the notch will largely depend on the user's preferences. Some users may find the notch to be a necessary design element, while others may find it to be an unnecessary distraction. Ultimately, it is up to the user to decide whether the pros outweigh the cons. The possibility of having no notch on an iPhone. The possibility of an iPhone without a notch is something that many people have been speculating about for some time. While it is not currently possible to have an iPhone without a notch, there is a possibility that Apple could introduce a notchless device in the future. One way that Apple could do this is by introducing a new type of display technology. This could be a flexible OLED display, which would allow Apple to create a full-screen display without the need for a notch. Another possibility is that Apple could introduce a new type of camera technology that would allow the essential components to be housed within the display. These are just a few of the possibilities that could allow Apple to introduce a notchless device in the future. However, it is important to note that these are just speculations, and there is no guarantee that Apple will ever introduce a notchless device. Alternatives to the iPhone notch. If Apple is unwilling or unable to introduce a notchless device, then there are several alternatives that it could explore. One alternative is to reduce the size of the notch. This could be done by reducing the the size of the components that are housed within the notch, such as the earpiece speaker and the true depth camera system. Another alternative is to introduce a new type of design, such as a bezel-less design. This would involve using a full-screen display with no bezels. This would provide a more aesthetically pleasing look but require a more complex design process. Finally, Apple could introduce a new type of design that is similar to the notch but with a different shape. This could be done by introducing a curved top bar or a curved bottom bar. This could provide a more aesthetically pleasing look while still providing the necessary space for the essential components. Final thoughts on the iPhone notch. Despite the criticism that it has received, Apple has remained committed to the notch design. Ultimately, it is up to the user to decide whether the pros of the iPhone notch outweigh the cons. While the notch may not be the most aesthetically pleasing design element, it provides a way for Apple to house the essential components without taking up too much space on the display. This makes it an indispensable design element for Apple's iPhones. If you're looking for a smartphone with the latest features and design elements, the iPhone notch is something that you should consider. And if you're looking for a device with a notch-less design, then you may want to wait and see what Apple has in store for the future. So, what are your initial thoughts about the iPhone notch? Let us know in the comments section, and if you enjoyed watching this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this one.